Hey everybody, it's Mondays with Linda and Mel. I'm Mel Doerr, the Aloha psychic, Aloha
The
shirt,
psychic.
the psychic, the Aloha shirt psychic, and I've got Linda G in the house. I was just telling Linda I was having a rough day. I'm trying to apply for a visa to go to Tanzania, and it was like, you know,
Did you get it settled after 2 hours on the phone?
I wasn't on the phone. I was online. Well, we're going to Kenya and Tanzania. The Kenyan was a piece of cake. Tanzania was like, oh my God. I felt like I was getting a PhD in international politics.
Jesus.
Anyway, a couple of things before I get to the questions I'd like to touch on, and I heard you and Lena and Hogarth the other day, and that was a great show, by the way, that you guys did. It was really good. Um, about this Christy Noem. And I'm a dog trainer. I love dogs.
Most people do love dogs.
That's right. And when I read about what she did, and now she's backtracking, saying, oh, well, there's hard decisions that you have to make when you run a farm. And it was a terrible decision I had to make. Yeah, to shoot a 14-year-old puppy in the
14 months old.
I'm sorry, 14-month-old puppy in the face because he did what those kind of dogs do, and they have a high prey drive. And then she said something about he tried to bite her, and I'm like, no, 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 no.
No, she brought that up later.
Yeah, right. And then she talked about a goat. Well, it was old and smelly, and it was headbutting my kids. Well, what do you think goats do? So I killed it too. And then 3 horses. I mean,
Yeah, well, she was saying, and we just got done putting down 2 horses that we've had for 25 years. And I wrote on her Twitter and I said, yeah, well, at least they had 25 years. That poor puppy had 14 months.
that's right. As a dog trainer, I'm like, wait a minute here. Obviously, it doesn't sound to me like the dog was trained at all. And
I think she signed her own death certificate. There's so many people that hate her. It's not even funny. Even Republicans.
you know what was cringeworthy for me was the fact that she shot a 14-month-old puppy. That was beyond cringeworthy. But a lot of the stuff that's coming out with these politicians, and they almost make it seem like it's okay, and it's not.
Yeah.
And then she defended it saying, well, I forget what state she's in, but in this state, if a farm animal, shows aggression or something, then you can put it down. I'm like, oh, she did that to cover her own ass. Pardon my language. But
oh, she's lying. She's lying. All this stuff about the dog being aggressive. She said it was untrainable. That was her reason. It was worthless because it was untrainable.
That's BS.
Well, give it to another family.
That's right. Even if it is untrainable, you don't shoot it in the head. It's funny. I mean, things that are coming out now with stuff that people would have never even said, like, 8 years ago. I mean, just cringeworthy stuff. And then she tried, it was cringeworthy, and then she tried to normalize it. And I think that's a problem. It's this cringeworthy stuff that Trump comes up with and all of that. Then they try to normalize it. Well, guess what? It's going to blow up in their faces.
Right.
Anyway, I'm on my high horse.
And may I bring a point up real quick before you go forward? I just want to tell everybody, somebody posted a CNN said that Trump was 9 points ahead of Biden in the CNN poll. I want you to tell you, crock, you know what? Crock. That is not true. Let me tell you why I know this. Not only because my guys are pretty right on, but also 70 to 80% of America is not appreciating the rights of women being taken away. That SCOTUS thing was awakening the sleeping giant. So how do you make that work when they do all kinds of polls and see how many people are against the rights of women being taken away, especially with women, and then say he's 9 points ahead? It's crack.
Well, even if it's true, and I intuit that it isn't, we've got 6 months until the election, and there's so much.
It's not true.
I know it's not true. But when Trump outside the courtroom, oh, I'm beating Biden, this is a political witch hunt, and blah, blah, blah. Oh, please give me a break.
Yeah, but he loves that stuff. He'll He thinks he has a chance. He really does.
If they would just not give him any media attention.
I know he gets more media attention than Biden does.
He does, absolutely. And he thinks he's still the president, and he's not. So,
Oh, and by the way, hats off to Hunter Biden, who just put in a lawsuit against Fox News.
yes. And
He'll win.
my guides had shown me that. And my guides had predicted that he would win. And here we are.
Yeah,
he's also gonna
doing a lawsuit against him.
And he's also going to sue Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh, good.
And he's going to win.
Yeah. Can you imagine her posting nude photos of him?
Oh, that's like,
I just hope they don't find her letting a donkey lick her and post those pictures.
maybe they should send her to Noem's farm and see what happens. All right. Are we ready to get started with the question?
Yeah. Can you put it on pause 1 sec?
Yeah, I sure can. Give me one.
I forgot to grab my.
Technical difficulties. We're back. I want to just touch briefly about our event coming in September. Yay. It's more than half sold out. So if you call my office and if we don't get back to you, give us 3 or 4 days. We'll get back to you. Call my office, 847-590-5411, or you can go on my website, www.meldoor.com, and there's a flyer on there about it as well.
And it's the actual event is the 26th, 27th, and 28th.
Right.
Everybody seems to be coming on the 25th.
Right. On the evening of the 26th, we'll have the meet and greet. We'll have hors d'oeuvres. Then all day Friday, we'll have our classes, seminars, all of that. And all day Saturday, same thing. We'll have lunch.
Breakfast, lunch.
Right. So
I'll be the first one in line.
yeah, me too.
And Mel likes to do like Trump likes to do. He likes to serve McDonald's.
There you go.
Not that I have anything against McDonald's. I enjoy a good McDonald's occasionally.
I just hope that nobody gets flatulence in the process.
Hey, I found out my son watches some shows on YouTube with Chef Gordon Ramsay. You know his favorite hamburger is a In-N-Out burger.
As a what?
In-N-Out burger.
You're kidding.
Now that's his favorite.
Wow. I like to watch cooking shows.
I went on his in Las Vegas. I went to his restaurant. Oh my God. I had the scallops because they always do scallops on his show, and I had to taste them. It was $75 for 3 scallops.
Wow.
And I could only eat 2 of them, and my kids don't like seafood.
Were they good?
Delish.
I love scallops. I love seafood. Okay, are we ready here, Miss Linda?
Yes.
All right. Alana Davis says, hi, Mel and Linda, love your shows. Thank you. The Louisiana governor is trying to make a convention to change the state's constitution. The process seems very rushed as he has made more laws to allow the governor to have more authority and has been successful. Will this convention happen to change the constitution? What does Louisiana have to look forward to? I don't see him successful in changing the constitution.
Well, he may be, but I see it being overturned.
That's what I see. I mean, a lot of it's going to be in violation of human rights and things like that. So,
you know, and you got governors like that one in Oklahoma State. Now, at least he came out and looked at the damage. And then you got the one in Texas. They're going to be mad about what isn't being done for them, by the way. But I see Biden taking care of things.
yeah, I mean,
But let me look at Louisiana.
I don't know what the law is in Louisiana to like change the constitution, but I'm sure you'd have to have a majority of votes and things like that. And I don't think it's going to be as easy as what that governor down there thinks it's going to be. Ultimately, it's going to bite him in the butt. That's what I
Yeah, I don't see him. I wonder how long he's in office. Now, he's got the Ace of Swords. So he's going to create, bodies will be buried over this. It's a battle. This is him exiting. So I don't know that they might find out something about him that's very untoward.
Wow.
He might be in trouble.
You know who lives down there is our friend Sherry. Voices from the Swamp. She lives
Oh,
in,
yeah, she's very nice.
no, she's wonderful. But I don't know. He's not going to be able to do as much as he thinks he's going to be able to do. So,
Yeah,
all right. It's just living proof. Like Sherry said, a lot of people down in Louisiana kind of took it for granted and people to get out and vote. Well, everybody, you got to get out and vote because
get
if,
out and vote.
here's what happens. And it kind of, it gets to me that like a lot of the MAGAs are talking about individual rights, but yet they're the first to take away our rights. And
Mhm.
look at what they're doing with women's rights, the MAGAs, or what they want
Right,
to do. It's just
right.
wrong on so many levels. Okay. Julie says, howdy from Michigan. Will Biden be able to pressure Netanyahu to do a hostage exchange release? Love and light from Lansing, she says.
Yeah, they're already talking about it, but let me tell you one problem. A lot of the hostages are deceased.
Right.
They're saying 25 right now, but they were very half rear about how they were doing this, and I see a lot of them were even killed by what is it? What is the name of the country he's in? Jerusalem?
By Hamas, you mean, in Gaza?
No, Netanyahu.
Netanyahu's in Israel.
I see a lot of Israeli bombs that actually cut off the ability to keep these people alive. I see a lot of them already gone. That's why they're not agreeing to this. That's why Hamas doesn't want to come out and say. They did hint around. They're not sure how many are alive because they got cut off from the bombing. They're saying Netanyahu killed his own people. No, he didn't. They shouldn't have kidnapped them.
I see a handful being released, but it's
Yeah.
going to be a real, what show about what happened to the other ones.
I'm seeing, I hate to say it, you guys, they're not, dead. They're in the realm.
And it's going to come out that a lot of them have deceased.
Yeah, that one woman that they did release, she was wanting to know about her husband, wanting to know. Finally, they said he had died.
Exactly.
So, and you hear about Netanyahu. In fact, Biden talked to him today. Netanyahu is in trouble with somebody and they're getting ready to subpoena him.
I see Netanyahu being tried and convicted at some point, and I see Netanyahu under indictment, and
He will be indicted.
And I see the Israelis getting rid of him. And I see a leader, like I keep saying, coming to Israel who will bring about or attempt to bring about peace in the Middle East and will allow
make it work. Yeah.
And will allow Israel and Palestine to exist as separate states,
right,
to coexist peacefully. So that's what I see.
Well, and also I read a woman today, a very lovely woman who has the gift, but she doesn't use it because her husband doesn't necessarily believe in it. But she told me, and I totally agree with her. She saw a shocked look on his face, like not necessarily being charged, but 1 minute being in office and the next minute being taken out. So something's going to happen with him.
I agree. Okay. Kathy Reagans. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Auntie Mel and lovely Linda. My question is, do you see President Biden appointing more justices on the Supreme Court this year prior to the November election? Blessings to you both. I don't see that.
Not unless something happens. I see Thomas leaving, maybe.
Well, if something happened to one of them, yes, but I think I don't think anything's going to happen.
I think it'll happen with the new, and listen, in order to impeach, because Okaza, AOC has brought up a bill to impeach Thomas. And you've got to have like 3/4. They won't get it now, but they'll get it next time.
They won't get it in the Senate.
No.
But at some point, it's funny. My guides had showed me that 2 justices would be impeached because of this whole thing with the immunity trial. And that I'm telling you, there's going to be clerks that'll come forward and say that Trump's lawyers talked to those justices before they even heard those arguments.
Whoa, that's a big one.
It is going to be big. And because of that, because of that, I see at least two being impeached.
I
And
don't know about impeachment. I see two, but definitely not only just Thomas, but I see Kavanaugh in big trouble.
I say two impeached. I could be wrong, but impeach just means to bring to trial. The question is, will they be removed from office? And if they were
I
smart,
see Kavanaugh how to speak. I've seen this when he first was put in, and I saw a hand on his shoulder and removing him. So something's going to happen, that something to do with all that money he got. He
well,
has some explaining to do.
if they were smart, then what would happen is they would just resign before it gets to them being removed from office.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just seeing on TV about the protesters to fight 2 p.m. deadline to clear Columbia University encampment. Do you think
Yeah.
it will lead to violence?
Well, no, they're going to delete them all from the register at the college. They'll all be kicked out. Yeah, there'll be violence, unfortunately.
Well,
Did you see how Russia's behind this too?
I believe in people's right to
Like
peaceful.
BLM, they were part of that. They're part of this too.
I believe in people's right to peaceful protest, and if they're peacefully protesting, but I haven't really watched it, so
Well, they're not only just protesting, they're camping.
yeah, I can see that. I'm out of the corner of my eyes. I got the news on. I'm seeing it out of the corner of my eye.
And I don't see I don't see anti-Jewish there with
No.
a lot of these kids. I'm seeing it with the outsiders coming in wanting to get drama.
I think what the kids are protesting is the whole Netanyahu Gaza thing. You know, they're not for Hamas. They're protesting against people being murdered and killed. That's what I think.
Yeah, children starving.
Exactly. Anyway, Netanyahu will be called to task for all that.
I'm telling you, Netanyahu's getting ready to go down.
But anyway, back to the justices. I see two of them impeached. I don't know if they'll be removed from office, but there's going to be some clerks that'll come out. You'll see.
Okay. I'm ready to hear it.
Kathy Reagan's. Hi, Kathy. She just. Hi, Auntie Mel and Linda. When do you see New York seizing 45's properties and the judgments against him in the New York trial?
When it's going to happen is the hardest for me, time frames, but I see it happening, but I don't know when.
I see it happening. I see it happening within the next 5 months because he's going to cry broke. He can't come up with this, and they're going to say
Before the vote happens.
Before the election. You mean?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Love it.
And I think, the Supreme Court is going to remand the immunity thing back down to the lower court. So, Judge Chutkan is going to have to hear arguments all over again. And then, what's going to happen is then Trump is going to appeal. They'll have to argue it in front of the Supreme Court again. And the Supreme Court doesn't meet in October. They'll hear the argument. It'll take them 2 or 3 months to decide.
I don't think Trump will live that long.
Well,
he won't live until the next year.
I'm just telling you what's in their heads,
Yeah.
But I see him coming to trial in Georgia before the election. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm picking up, that he's going to be going to trial in Georgia.
Well, I always felt like a hearing, but it could be just what Weisenberg or that great lawyer said. It could be that she has Jack Smith bring all the evidence and there's a hearing with all his witnesses with no jury to figure out which one is personal and which one is related to it. But if they do that, they're going to expose everything.
Oh, there's going to be so much crap coming out. Trump is
that could have been the trial we've been seeing, but it's not really the trial. It's letting everybody know, well, yeah, he did this personal.
That's going to bite him worse than even if it had gone to trial right away.
That's like these guys trying to act like, oh no, he has total immunity. Biden saying, well, okay, somebody did an AI on him.
Yes, I saw
it to you. He said, well, I had Trump arrested and you're never going to see him again.
I saw that. That was so funny. I sent it to my cousin and she called me. She didn't know it was AI. She goes, oh my God, I was going to pack up and leave. And then when she watched it all, she was laughing.
Yeah, because he was swearing like a stuck pig.
I sent that to everybody. I said, my friend Linda Grendel sent it to me. I sent it to everybody that I knew. It was right.
It was hella funny.
Anyway, but I still see him coming into trial in Georgia before the election. And I think people underestimated this thing with Stormy Daniels. I knew that it would be a lot more than what people
What are
thought.
you picking up on Stormy then?
In what way?
About her testimony. I'm gonna throw, you
Oh,
tell us.
her testimonies. Well, Trump is saying that he did it because, he didn't want his family to be embarrassed about, he paid his lawyer because he didn't want the story to come out to embarrass Melania or his family. No. If you were worried about embarrassing your family or Melania, you wouldn't have been having these multiple affairs.
Well, explain the Playboy model too for a year and a half.
Right. And explain
He was a piglet.
explain how he, with Pecker would, how he caught and killed stories. Pecker's testimony was very damning against Trump.
And you know what? People liked him. As terrible as a man as he is, that he made stuff up and posted it like it was real, and all the stuff he did for Trump, people believed him.
I did a little comedy skit on it that
Stormy's going to do really good.
oh, she's going to do phenomenally well.
I'm worried about Cohen.
Oh, Cohen's not going to crumble. He's going to be stellar.
Okay, good.
I don't know if Pecker's done testifying, but it was like I did this little comedy skit. It was like, how did I do it? I said, the defense asked him some very hard questions, and his answers sometimes were very stiff, as he said, very erect. It was the takeoff on his last name.
Yeah, he's definitely a done deal.
Pecker, yeah, I mean,
did you hear Trump try to stand up to give a hug to his assistant?
oh yeah, yeah.
Like,
Well,
oh,
what they're going to try to do with the jury is say, well, if he caught and killed these stories and printed fake stuff, then, is he telling the truth here? But Pecker came out and said that he was paid to kill stories and to write stuff that wasn't true.
well, he really wasn't paid. Remember, he paid to cut that Playboy person, and then Trump, which he doesn't look that good. Cohen doesn't look that good. Oh, the boss needs you to take care of the Stormy. He said, no, I'm not a bank. I'm not doing it anymore.
Well, I mean, what Pecker said was very damning for Trump, and people believe him, and they're going to believe Cohen, and they're really going to believe Stormy Daniels.
I wonder what she's going to say.
Oh, it's gonna,
because if you look at it, Pecker is a piece of mud. He's got some things to take care of in his soul energy. To the awful things he did just to sell. But the interesting thing, the killer was telling and the defense knew what they were doing. I mean, the prosecution knew what they were doing. So if you had released this story about the Playboy bunny, would that have helped yours? He said it would have been gold. We would have sold like gold.
oh yeah.
So, and even with Stormy Daniels, he would have sold, they would have been flying off he said, so we did this for Trump. This had nothing to do with anything else but to protect Trump.
It all shows that it was all collusion in order to hush up things and in order to influence the election. And it's coming out that it indeed was criminal, and the intent was criminal. That's what I think the prosecution has to prove intent, and they're doing a really good job of it.
I don't see the prosecution focusing in on what actually happened as much, like the actual event, because she said it happened so quick. And also, but I think maybe even that statement about you remind me of my daughter, you look like my daughter, that's creepy.
That's creepy. That's very creepy. I think they're focused more on the intent, that he committed crimes to cover up stuff so he could win an election, to interference in an election.
Right.
And that's criminal.
Yeah.
Okay. He said it's a.
Can you hold on 1 second?
I do see his properties seized because he's going to cry that he can't pay and blah blah blah. That's in the E. Jean Carroll case and the fraud case. And you know what? I still see in the state of New York that on that fraud case, that tax fraud stuff he did, the civil case, they're going to refer that over to the state for criminal prosecution in addition to the criminal prosecution he's going through.
Oh, hail to the yeah.
That's what I see. Okay, Patty today says, "Hi, Mel and Linda. We talked about this. It seems like things could go either well or badly for Governor Kristi Noem. She could be arrested for animal cruelty, or she could be Trump's running mate. What do your guides say?" I think we've already touched on that.
She's not going to be arrested for animal cruelty because too much time has passed.
Well, and because of what she said, it's the law in that state, and now she's backpedaling. But you know, I put something on my community page, and if you all are watching it, check it out. Make sure you share it with everybody. So what I thought I would do is I would not spend one nickel to buy her book, but rather than buy her book, the money that you guys would save on that, donate it to the American Humane Society.
Hey,
Not,
she's even upset Republicans, so.
you know, there's a lot of dog lovers, Republican
And the Native Americans don't want her anywhere on their land.
oh, good.
She's already talked to Trump that if she was chosen as VP, she wants Trump to work on making sure that the natives get taken away. You know what I'm saying? To
That's
get
not gonna
their
happen.
rights taken away.
That land was given to them, was ceded to them. And if they try to take it away from them, it would be a total disaster.
Right.
Okay. I think that she just put nails in her coffin politically, and now she's trying to backtrack, but it's not going to work.
It's not, I'm telling you, she's already that Dalmatian lady, the wicked witch.
She's and Noem's not going to win. I don't know how long when her term is up for governor, but she's not going to win again. They're going to use this against her big time. She should have never put that in the book ever. She was almost bragging about it. That's the part.
Yeah, well, she's bragging about being a gun owner.
Okay, but you don't brag about shooting a dog in the face or putting a goat down because it's old and smelly, or three horses.
Let's see. She's 52 years old. When is she going to run again? In 2018, she ran. On November 12, 2021, Noem announced she was running re-election for governor, so she got in again.
But I don't think she'll get in the next time.
Yeah.
Let's see it.
Yeah, whenever they end. It looks like it could be 4 years.
You know, in today's time, once you let something out there, it's not forgotten, because with internet, with social media, a lot of stuff gets resurrected. So, okay, so Francis Schwartz says, now that we are realizing that Reagan's trickle-down economics do not work, what will be done to change policies and educate people on why it did not work? I appreciate your work, she says, and I miss Chicago. Well, come and visit us, Francis.
Aw, come to our event.
I think trickle-down economics, we know it didn't work. So the best way to educate people is tell them about it. But the best way to educate people is put in politicians who are not in favor of trickle-down economics, because they know it doesn't.
They know it doesn't work. Yeah.
You know, I often thought that George Bush would go down as the worst president. W would go down as the worst president. But
and you know, he got less votes than Gore. That was that Supreme Court handed it to him.
Oh, I know. But now we know who the worst president in history will be. T. Rump.
Also, by the way, Governor Bush or President Bush, he put in Alito.
Right. At some point, I see Trump's presidency overturned with everything that's going to come out again in the Mueller report. That's not over. And all the other stuff coming about and how he paid to influence the outcome of the election. That's what this Stormy Daniels thing is about. That's why it's so huge.
Yeah.
And then the documents case, and then the Georgia case, you know,
He's not gonna testify. I wish he would, because it would bring up all, but he's not gonna testify.
he can't ask for presidential immunity in Georgia because you cannot try to influence the outcome of election, even if you are president. It's still illegal.
Right.
That wasn't within the realm of his presidential duties. And I'm telling you, that case in Georgia is going to go forward because the SCOTUS doesn't have much say so over the states unless what they're doing is unconstitutional. But there's nothing in the Constitution about presidential immunity.
Right, right.
When they say that those justices that say that they go by the text of the Constitution exactly, which is what they tried to use to to overturn Roe v. Wade. Well, they backpedaled on that one, didn't they? Because there's nothing in the Constitution about
Nothing.
So, you know what? We'll see how
That's
that.
okay. Oh, and that AI,
Yep.
can you hear the blowing? The AI guy, the AI Trump thing that you laughed about, he said, and I'm codifying Roe versus Wade,
Yeah, right.
because he can do what he wants.
He can do what he wants to do. Okay, Martha Davis says, hi, Linda and Mel. Both of you have stated that Donald J. Trump will not get presidential immunity, but will SCOTUS succeed in granting special case scenarios? I'm truly worried. I think they're going to kick the can. They're just going to kick it. They're just going to give it back to the lower court, remand it back down to the lower court, and let the lower court sift through it because they didn't want to. They didn't want to look bad.
Well, there's a lot of in fact, they're saying for Biden, get ready, because if they wouldn't do that, they're not going to give him complete.
They're not going to give
It's
them
not going to happen.
because,
When do you think they'll announce? Do you think they'll wait till June?
oh, I do.
Yeah.
I do.
But I know Jack Smith is just itching his fingers, because if they say kick it to the lower court, he'll tell that judge, let's bring out the guns. Let's let everybody hear the evidence we have.
Right.
And see if it's personal.
Yeah, well, when I heard Trump's lawyer, well, that could be personal. Oh, if you want to assassinate somebody, your opponent, well, that could be presidential too. It's like, I mean, the argument he made was just, I mean, a second grader would have laughed. It
And
was,
it's going to be really sad how he loses. Trump's going to lose bigly. And all these people trying to act like king for a day, they really think he's going to win. He's not.
I don't think so. I don't see it. All right. Benita Herring says, this is a long one. Please address what is going on in the music industry, TV, and movies. The entertainment business is a part of all of our lives, and to now know more clearly the abuses that have gone on for our entertainment is disheartening. Many want to know if it will be safer for artists to make music, TV, and movies because of the unveiling of several types of abuses toward children, women, and men. It saddens many to know the pain that came at the expense of our being entertained. The arts are important. We have all turned to the arts for solace. Will it become safer for artists to make art? I've asked about this on Sterling's channel and Linda's channel. Please take this question seriously because so far it has not been addressed. Thank you. Love you both tons.
That has been going on for ages.
For ages. And I think
Casting couch.
I was just going to say
American Idol, that guy that whatever his name is, the one that was in charge of it, the English guy, they bound those kids for a contract for nearly the rest of their lives. They cashed in for every one of them. The music business, this is why Tom Petty fought them so hard. They are just underhanded and ugly.
I was just going to say,
slowly but surely, slowly, like Weinstein and all that, Me Too, that a lot of this stuff is getting thrown into the open, and this too shall pass.
I was just going to say casting couch. We were thinking of it at the same time. That was notorious. I don't think it'll ever go away, but I do feel there will be legislation passed so it won't be as prevalent or as easy. You know, like
Right.
for example, with child stars, how they give them amphetamines to work and down some put and
Oh, then they took away, it was Shirley Temple hardly got anything. They gave it to her father who spent it all.
right. And there was legislation passed to stop that from happening. And
That
so
children were protected.
correct. So I see a lot more protections coming, but unfortunately it's not going to go away completely.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a good question. Water Lily, I like that name. Hello, marvelous Mel and lovely Linda. Thank you. Love you both. Do you think Trump purchased Supreme? Do you think Trump purchased Supreme Court understands if they give Trump and presidents immunity, they will cease to exist? I believe if Trump had a snowball's chance in hell of winning, he would eliminate the Supreme Court. Well, yeah, if he can do anything, and if he's got pure immunity, he could do anything he wanted. There would be no
Oh,
repercussions.
let me tell you, when they were turning him away for the fake ballots and all that, remember the Supreme Court kept turning their back. Kavanaugh was one of them.
Right,
He talked about Kavanaugh. I was shocked.
right,
He's lucky I don't tell everybody what the truth is about him.
right, right, right.
And it was like, what? Pray tell? What? But he didn't go on with it. But, you know, he must have had Kavanaugh worried.
Well, what did Lily ask if Biden is reelected, and I'm sure he will be, if he can remove corrupt judges? And the answer is no, you have to go through the impeachment process. I do see
And
more
you need 3/4 of majority.
correct. You have to have at least a big majority. I see more judges on the court. Oh, you got a BS bill, huh?
I got my psychic bill.
Oh, good. So, but I see the court at some point, a different court, a lot sooner than later, reinstating Roe v. Wade, codifying gay marriage, codifying women's rights, huge codifying women's rights. And the women are
Yeah.
hopping mad. And the women will bring Donald Trump down. My guides keep telling me that.
I said the minute that Roe versus Wade thing happened, I said they've just awakened the sleeping giant.
Exactly. Okay. Auntie Vaughn says, yay, aloha, Auntie Mel, and Lesser's Linda. Bodacious tatas, Linda. Okay. My question, when the big orange baby is about to depart from this dimension, will he linger and have us pick up his extensive medical bill, or will he depart quickly? That's a good question. Well, I know when he crosses over where he ain't going.
I know.
By
I
the
don't
way,
know. He just feels really bad.
how's cousin Sue?
She's still in the hospital.
Okay, everybody, please, please, please send loving, healing energy to Linda's cousin. And I guess I can adopt her as a cousin too.
She
Sue.
actually passed out
Oh, wow.
and
She's
hit her head. They wanted to make sure she didn't have a concussion. Poor Jim, who's already sick, her husband. And first they said UTI, which I believe she had, but she's having extreme problem with emesis. She's not holding things down.
almost sounds like she was going septic. That's what it sounds like to me. But I think they'll get it. I know they'll get it under control. But Sue is such a sweet.
She's a solid one.
She's a solid. Oh yeah, but she's a sweetheart. And so everybody, please send her healing energy.
You guys remember Sue? She's a little tiny short thing. She was at the Sedona events.
Don't. And also Jim. Jim was the MC.
Jim, yeah, Jim is. He loves to talk about his Eckhart Tolle.
Yeah, he certainly does.
And you know, he dropped dead. He was dead for 45 minutes.
Oh, bad.
But he made it, you guys.
Healing energies to cousin Sue.
Yeah. Healing energies into my cousin Regina.
And to Regina.
Who
And to
suffered with
ALS.
Regina's I'm glad you got to meet her when she still was up and about.
Did. Yep. So Regina, Sue, Dan.
And my book, you guys, it's available on Amazon. If you type in Linda Grindle, you'll see the book. It is on, and it's working on Kindle, but the audio, which Tana keeps trying to get, she said we are so close. So any day now I'll be able to tell you guys audio is out.
And everybody buy the book. It's a really good book. Okay. Okay, so Donna says, Hello, Auntie Mel and Miss Linda. Will Virginia Foxx of North Carolina win in November? She is that wacky woman who tells people to shut up. She says, I love your show. I think that she's going to have a run for her money in November. I do.
Who?
Virginia Foxx of
I
North,
don't know. Who
uh,
is she? Is she a Republican?
yeah, she's a Republican. I think she's going to have a run for her money in North Carolina. That's what I see.
Oh, the one that was yelling and everybody shut up. She's
uh,
80 years old.
yeah,
She's probably the first one to talk about Biden.
right. I think
Will
she,
Virginia Fox lose her seat? Somebody's saying yes to me. Will
I,
Virginia Fox lose her seat? Look at this.
I could be wrong, but I don't see her winning.
She might not, she'll probably lose. She's running against a man. Yeah, people are gonna put her out to pasture.
That's what I see. Okay. I can't pronounce his name. Buckel, I can't pronounce the name. Hi, Mel and Linda. Love hearing from you. Thank you. I live in Los Angeles and there's many homes for sale, but they owe over $600,000. Do you see Governor Newsom houses Democrats or President Biden to pass a bill to lower the cost of houses, not just in California, but nationwide, similar to President Clinton's 1990s reform on housing? What do your guides see? That's a really good question. You know, when I read that reform on housing thing, my psychic light bulb went off. Well, it's always going off, but it really went off. And I do see a reform on housing coming that Biden will put into place once he's reelected. And it's going to be effective in stimulating affordable pricing, people being able to buy at lower
They're
interest.
building all kinds of houses out where I live. A lot of residential, smaller places for the elderly. They're building some places, 4-unit complex down the street from me.
Okay, this is a really good question. It's just by the same person. I can't pronounce the name. Germany has been seen as a strong nation under Angela Merkel, but Angela Merkel is no longer the chancellor. But
No.
anyway, and leading the European Union. Do you see Germany or the EU becoming a superpower in a stable environment? I do see Deutschland or Germany becoming a superpower. And a very progressive superpower. You know, Germany learned their lesson. What happens when
If you do the signal
you
in Germany, you'll be,
can be
or
arrested.
put the flag out,
Right.
you will be arrested.
Germany learned its lesson when they had, when they went through that dark night of the soul under Hitler. And I think this country is learning that same lesson. I do see Germany becoming a
Oh,
superpower.
if Trump got in, it would be Hitler all over again.
And Germany will
I
never.
wouldn't doubt if there would be concentration camps.
I agree. And we'd probably be one of the first ones to go, being gay, you know. Hitler put gays in concentration camps. It was a gay Holocaust, actually. But anyway, I do see Germany becoming a superpower, but they're not going to ever go back to that sordid past. I think they're going to be very, very progressive, and
I'm very sensitive to it.
one of the most free countries in Europe, and promoting freedom for everybody. So I see them becoming a superpower. So
yeah.
Okay, Olivia Ortega says, "Hi, Auntie Mel and lovely Linda. By the way, you look great today, Linda.
Oh, thank you.
What will happen to Flynn and Rubio? Ooh, will they have their court date?"
Yes, definitely. Flynn is definitely going down.
Absolutely. Flynn, she said Finn, but Flynn. Flynn is going to go down. Rubio,
Yeah.
He's not going to do that well politically. So.
Yeah, and he talks his way out of things. He goes in circles.
Right. Okay. Dolores Perkins says, "Hello, Linda and Mel. These ads that I see on the internet about 6,400 subsides that is given by the government. Oh, so I don't know what this means. In other words, she's asking if the government will give money to people who are under 65 and make a low income. Will they get $6,400 a month? And some adds that younger people with low income getting 1,400 a month, and some get 6,500. Is that true? I haven't heard of that at all.
I haven't heard of that.
No,
It could happen down the road, but no. And I also heard somebody wrote on one of those channels I watch, if they want a livable income, which at the lowest is 3,000 something a month for fast food workers, why can't Social Security pay the same? A livable wage.
Social Security is stuff we've all paid into. It's not an entitlement. If we would have taken that same money and invested in the stock market, we'd be millionaires.
Yeah,
So-
but I don't want the government investing our money.
No, but
And
they,
I want the government
but they
with
do.
their
with
hands
Social
off that
Security.
money,
They do.
because they have borrowed trillions of dollars from Social Security and never paid it back.
Right.
Notice how they don't mention that, like these guys that say children don't get a lunch break when they're working. These idiots, they're the same ones. Oh, don't give student loan, don't mark that. These are the same people that took those PPEs. It was a festival. It was like free money. Are you kidding? And Jared was one of the biggest ones that making sure all his family got in there.
Social Security is our money. We paid it in. You know what? And the government wasted it. They should have been forced to invest that money, because what we get in return for what we've paid into it is a disgrace. It really is a disgrace.
Well, my dad was a fire captain and he was forced to retire because he broke his back. But Governor Wilson went in there and took a whole bunch of that money. And everybody was in such an uproar that I don't think he ever gave it back, but they made sure they couldn't touch it again.
Good. Okay. Angalag says, hi, Mel and Linda. Will there be any terrorist attacks in Northern Europe? And will Netanyahu invade Rafah in the near future? The answer to yes is both, unfortunately. I do see
terrorist action where?
Northern Europe.
Oh, yeah, I don't know about North. I saw New York, maybe some
I see
attempt
some
to
here
hit a
too.
railroad station or something.
I see some here too, but in Northern Europe, I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
And I do feel that Netanyahu will invade Rafah. And that's really going to turn world favor completely against him. So,
yeah.
All right. Dolores Perkins, let's see. Also, Mr. Mel and Miss Linda, I would like to also, hold on. Okay, I think we've already answered that question. I apologize.
Okay.
It was about the entertainment. Okay. Mary Brack says, hello, Linda and Mel. Thank you both for sharing your time. My question is, why did Christy Noem think it was a good idea to boast about shooting her dog and goat?
We just answered that.
Yeah, what did she think would happen?
She's not thinking. She thinks she's all that in a cup of tea.
Well, I think she also thought in case the story ever got out that she would cover it in her book and try to cover her tracks. Well, guess what? You don't brag about, I'm a dog trainer and you just don't do that.
I know. Even like I said, even Republicans are against her now.
Oh my God. I mean, I cringe.
Now, the Native Americans, I've read a lot of sad stories about them traveling place to place. The white man killed all the buffalo and they loved their dogs, but they did kill them to eat them.
Well, that's different. That's different, but not to shoot a dog in the head because you didn't train it or whatever.
Bury it in a ditch.
Oh, exactly. Okay. Hello, dynamic duo. Several months ago, there was a lot of innuendo about Bolbert and Ted Cruz. Is it true? I guess they're asking if they were having something. I don't see.
I don't feel it was true. I feel he liked her, but I don't feel he did anything with her.
I mean, when you look at Ted Cruz, it's like, what? Ooh. I mean, and Bolbert is like another. So,
I know.
That's a no. Okay.
Poor Robert, she's going down so hard.
Oh, this is a good
Will
one.
not get in for another season.
Oh, I know. Baby's Bible Jesus, she's gonna be
Yeah.
just getting groped in the theater. Okay. Hello from Florida. Duh, she says. What is our dear friend Kevin McCarthy up to these days? He's probably working behind the scenes to get rid of to get rid of Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah, he can't stand her.
And notice how Trump didn't come to help McCarthy when McCarthy got ousted as the
No,
speaker.
but isn't McCarthy one of the ones who just got indicted?
I don't know.
Or was it Meadows? Mark Meadows?
No, it wasn't McCarthy.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, Brian Beecher. Um, as a fellow Chicagoan, how about taking a look at the political circus in Dalton, where you not only have an embattled mayor under fire, but also a well-known activist caught up in a potential sex scandals? Oh, you know what, Brian, I really haven't looked into that, but I promise you,
Where's Dalton?
Dalton's a suburb of Chicago.
Oh,
It's like we in Chicago, the suburbs are townships, and each township has its different mayor and its different police department. Um, but I see a different mayor, and I see a lot coming out about what actually did happen in Dalton. And I'm thinking there might also be some indictments as a result of it. So,
okay.
all right. Kimberly Canal says, now that Trump has had a meeting with DeSatan, has Christy Noem realized that she won't be a VP because Orange will read the press on animal killers? Well, she's not going to be vice president, but I'm just
No,
curious.
I told you, I always thought it was Ben Carson. I could be wrong. He said it was Ben Carson way back when. He said, I already picked my VP. It's
People,
Ben Carson, but of course he lies while he breathes.
people don't like Ben Carson either.
I know, but Ben Carson wouldn't give him any trouble.
My light bulb just went on. I was kind of thinking DeSatan maybe thought that Trump would choose him to be a vice president.
No, he blows that up everybody's rear.
I
Just
know.
like that one in Florida, the judge. Oh, he told her she'd make her a justice. That's what she's looking at. He ain't gonna do nothing.
This is a really good question coming up here, Linda. It just says user. I can't, it's been, okay. Is Trump still running the House, or was he uninvolved in the foreign aid bill? I see him still running the House, but because Johnson said that Trump reluctantly agreed to help Ukraine, I'm like, well, why would Trump have any say so in it at all? He's not.
Yeah.
I think he's still running the House. Okay. This good question too. Do you think Joe Biden would ever pardon Michael Cohen?
I don't see him doing it.
I don't think so. Cohen's already put his time in.
Yeah.
Okay. Velda Ray says, when will DeJoy step down from the Postal Service?
It's gonna be, I'm telling you, I read this article. Biden can't make him go down, but the new people he's bringing in, and there's a new one coming, can vote to remove him. I think before the end of the year, he'll be gone.
That's what I see. I thought it'd be I thought it would
Me
happen
too.
a
Me too.
lot faster than now, but and also, did the postal mail sorting machines he removed during the last election get replaced?
Some of them did, but yeah, they wasted a bunch of money.
But somebody says Jordy and Pat says he's trying to shut down a huge mail hub here in Reno, Nevada, and move it to California. What is that about? Just trying to make a lot of confusion for voters. Jordy, I don't see him being successful in shutting down that mail hub in Reno. I just don't.
Yeah.
I mean, he's gonna, he's gonna be in a lot of trouble too. Will Mike Flynn be found guilty of treason, and will he lose his military pension and benefits?
Yes.
Yes.
Might be 2 years away, but yes.
Okay, we got time for just two more. Will the Republican Party recover from the MAGA control of their party? And if so, will they ever become a highly functioning political party again?
There always are gonna be the crazy ones,
But
but it's not gonna own Mag. So much stuff is coming out about Trump. It's an awakening.
I see the MAG is gone at some point.
Yeah.
And I see the Republican Party, once again, focusing on more individual rights, you know, they say they're conservative. They say they're conservative about spending, but yet they let Trump spend more than any president in American history. I see them really reviving and rehashing their entire party for the better, not for the
I
worse.
see a lot of these churches in trouble too. These
Yes,
huge churches,
absolutely.
mega churches, really in trouble with the government. Before you
But-
know it, they're gonna start taxing churches again for giving their political impressions, and that will be when the new Supreme Court takes place.
There's going to be a new Republican Party. It'll still be Republican,
Yeah, it'll be better.
but much different
Yeah,
than the MAGAs, almost like the Republican Party, what it was under Abraham Lincoln.
yeah. Kinzinger and those type of people. Yeah.
Right. Okay, we got time for one more.
Okay.
Hi,
thank
Mel and Linda. Wishing you the best. My question is, will Biden, if Biden will provide work permits for all longtime immigrants in the country, not only the new migrants, which are already applying for permits. Chicago mayor sent a letter to Biden that people living in the country for years got bypassed. If so, will this happen before the election? I do see him providing work permits for people who are here.
Yeah.
Um,
Why do you think California's doing so good with fresh fruits and everything?
Well,
And Florida has just gone downhill.
a lot of people say, oh, they take away our jobs. Excuse me. When is the last time you saw somebody that's white pick fruit or clean a
Oh,
toilet?
somebody said, just show me the man who was picking fruit, losing his job to an illegal. Show that to me.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All right, one more. Emmy says, hi, Mel and Linda.
You said one more last time.
I know. The immigration situation is bad all over the world. In some countries, immigrants are starting to riot. They have started to protest here in the US. Do you see this escalating into rioting?
No, because Biden's gonna come in and give opportunity.
Okay. This has been a pleasure. As usual, I love my Mondays. When I first started, I told Linda I'm in a bad mood. I'm trying to get my visa going to Tanzania, and it's like, And just even doing this for, the first minute into it, it changed my mood.
Lifts you up, yeah. I gotta go because I got an appointment with the doctor.
All right, for your nose?
Yeah, ER set up the appointment, so.
Okay, so everybody, please call my office about our event. It's going to be incredible. Please, though, send healing energy to Linda's cousin Sue.
Cousin Regina.
Cousin Regina. Okay. And also healing energy to Jeff. I keep getting the dates wrong. He's going in for his cancer surgery in his tongue on May the 10th, not the 5th.
Okay, sounds good, honey.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
All right.
Cheers.